Right, here we are folks, we're back here again. What I've got to do now is put the lugs on the teapot. Well, I've put my chamois leather from my wheel. I've just been putting it on here where the lugs are going to go, just to prepare the clay here so it's nice and soft. Alright, so that's something you can do, or you could put a sponge there just while you're waiting, or while you're rolling out the sausage of clay I'm rolling out here. Okay, damp your board, by the way, before you roll. And actually it's a bit better at this end, I think. So there we are. Alright, I've got a couple of sausages of clay here which I'm going to put on as lugs. So let's do that right away. Let's start with the one here on the front. Now, just bear in mind when you're doing this, you want to get the lugs. Actually, these need a little bit more rolling, they're not quite long enough. Not quite long enough. That's what we're about. That's what we're trying to do. Get them like that. Okay. So I want two like that. Good. Okay. Put that one there. Now, when you position the lug, take into consideration the space that you're giving between the lug and the lid there. Alright, now you can change that a little bit by just angling it like that, or you can actually physically move it a bit further down, as it were. You've got a bit of slurry handy, which I haven't got, so I'm putting a bit of soft clay there, mixing some soft clay into that lightly keyed area that I just did. Alright, and then taking that and putting him there. How's that looking? Well, that's sort of how it's looking at the moment. Right, now, before I do any more, what I'm going to do is, and this is a good bit of advice, make sure that the next lug you put here is in a dead straight line, and what you can do is just make a simple little mark there like that, which you can easily get rid of afterwards. So there we are. Now I'm going to again just key that area just there and there on either side. Because I put the chamois leather there, it's nice and soft now, ready to receive the lug. Bit of slurry. There is some slurry down here in the depths, in the back of beyond. So I'll put a bit of that. Comme ça. Right, now, and then take your lug. You can clean away that mark now you put there earlier on. Alright. Right, at this stage you can take the lid off. Right, now we're coming to the part where we need to finish these lugs off. Now there's lots of different ways of finishing off lugs, and I don't propose to go into all the different ways that you can you can do that, but I'm just going to do it the way I do it. So just give them a good firm press on. Incidentally, make sure that the height of the lugs is the same and they look nicely balanced, etc. So what I do is I kind of smooth it in and around. Now you don't have to do it like I do it, but and then I press like that. A little bit of care is needed doing this, and they are a little bit fiddly. So you have to be a bit sort of cute with your fingers, you know. Getting things as you want. Right, that's that one. And now this one. There's so much you can do on a teapot, you know, if you can make a mess of it so easily. That's why it's sort of a bit of a challenge making a teapot, just to get it, bringing all these different aspects of the teapot together in such a way that it looks okay, it doesn't look a mess. It's the little things like your fingernails, you know, they kind of catch here or catch there, they leave a gouge mark, and it's got to be a bit sort of, I guess it's summed up in the word craftsmanship, isn't it? Be a bit of a craftsman. Take a bit of care. I remember my dad always used to have a go at me. He used to say, "Simon!" He'd pick up some pots that I'd made, and he was always very hot on making sure that we used clean boards, you know? And you've got boards and boards that you use in your workshop, that they're cleaned off before you start using them, because they've got scabs of clay on, and then you put soft pots down and they leave imprints on the bottom of the pots, and he really used to annoy him that. So I remember him having a go, you know, "Oh, well, clean your boards." Now, it may be a case of having to just tweak it a little bit, or bring the one handle forward or not. Just to, oh, look at that, see, I've made a mess there. So go over the teapot when you've done it, and now I do actually need to put, I haven't got my right size hole bore, I'm going to use my knife, a hole in the teapot like that. Why do you put a hole in the teapot lid? Oh, some people say, oh, well, that's to let the steam out. No, it isn't. The reason we have a hole in the teapot lid is to let the tea out when you pour, because when you pour, the tea comes out the spout, doesn't it? And in order to pour properly, air has got to come into the teapot for the tea to come out. So you have an air hole there, so the air goes in so the tea can come out Clever stuff. Pure rocket science. Right. Well, there is the finished teapot. I hope you've been able to join me on this clip and have followed along. That will now have a cane handle going across here, which will be put on before it is fired. Well, there it is, folks. The finished article, the finished teapot with its different components. Have a go at doing a teapot. It's a challenge. It'll test your sensibilities. Keep practicing. See you in the next clip. Take care.